Hello, everyone, and welcome to July 16th. It is a Tuesday today, which means it's a view from a hospital. My name is Hailey Baltzell. I'm the CEO and owner of Beyond Indigo Pets. Today we have Dr. Hailey Bertrand, and she is joining us from, do you want to tell us where you're coming from today?
So I'm in North Bay, Ontario. So that's in Canada. Ontario is kind of in the middle of Canada, and we are, if anyone knows where Toronto is, so sort of southern Ontario, we are about 4 hours north of there. So that's significant because what that means for veterinary medicine up here is we are 4 hours away from an emergency clinic or referral hospital. So we have to do a lot of our own stuff, and having sort of technology and stuff like that up here has not been a thing up until we opened about 6 years ago.
Yay! How many people are around you in your?
Good question. So North Bay is a town of 50,000. The closest next city to us is about an hour and a half away, and they have 100,000.
Okay.
And then we're much further from anything else.
Yeah, so you are kind of your own island, so to speak, out there, right?
Yeah.
And what type of animals do you see?
So we do dogs and cats. I did graduate originally to do horses, but I had a really great mentor in dogs and cats, and I just kind of went that way.
And that's your passion. Well, awesome. Thank you today. We're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about marketing, and then you have some pretty cool stuff that we're going to move into. But since we're kind of in this rough time, you had a COVID video that did really, really well. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so everything, as everyone's aware of, in the beginning with COVID, it was crazy. And we actually had an incident with my daughter where she was in the hospital, and I realized that the testing up here wasn't happening fast enough. And so we were maybe a little bit ahead of the curve here in terms of what we decided to implement. And so we made a video to show our clients how we were going to get dogs in the clinic, because we have a double door system at the front. And so we were actually able to have clients put their dogs and cats into the first set of doors and then leave. And we were able to get the dogs from there with masks and gloves and clean everything, change leashes, all of that stuff. It's obviously still a risk because we're still touching the patients and stuff like that. We were sort of doing everything we could to minimize it. And so we video out there sort of show our clients, okay, and our protocol to say like, okay guys, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do our best to keep everyone safe, so we can still be here to help, right? Because really far to work. So if something happens here, that's no good. Anyways, so the video is actually of myself and my front desk staff, Allie, bringing one of our staff pets into the clinic, a black lab who's very agreeable. So that was perfect.
Good.
And we put it up, and it actually ended up going viral through a whole bunch of the vet tech websites, and then the vet websites, and then it got out to the general public. We've actually had over 5 million views. I haven't checked that in over a week, so it could be like way beyond that. Yeah, and I think it was just because it was so early in everything, and no one really knew what to do, and everyone was looking to everyone else to see what they were doing. So it was an interesting for everybody, and I wish I'd done a better job of my hair. If I'd known people were going to see it, I might have done something different, but here we are.
Right, it is what it is, but that's the beauty of this time too. It's like, yeah, you get what you get, right? Like, I'm here, I'm dressed, we're assuming you're clean, and this is what you get, right? Exactly. So that is so awesome that they can see that, and we can put a link up to that too in the Facebook comments so people can see it if they want to after this presentation. So that would be really cool. And now, speaking of marketing too, we were talking about search engine optimization or SEO, and what has that done for your business?
Yeah, so we've been open for 6 years, and I think we've been doing SEO and sort of with Beyond Indigo for I think 3.5 years. I'd have to, maybe even 4. I'd have to go back and look. I'm not a business expert by any stretch, but my business advisor has mentioned that we started off on a linear curve. Once we started doing SEO and proper marketing and those sorts of things, we have grown absolutely exponentially. So if anyone is even hesitating, I would say go for it. I cannot hire fast enough, build fast enough. We are struggling to get enough people to help all the patients that we have. It's been absolutely amazing.
That is so awesome. Yeah, so you took a chance, you tried it, didn't quite really understand what this whole SEO business actually meant, right? And now you can see the results, and it doesn't happen overnight, but you're seeing exponential growth over time by just staying with it monthly, ongoing monthly work.
Absolutely. I just did not have time to do, with the number of clients we had coming to the door, I did not have time to, I might have been able to start it. There's no way I would have been able to keep up with our Facebook and, putting posts up and sort of all that stuff that keeps people coming back and remembering us on Facebook and things like that. I never would have had time to do that. It's been really helpful to have someone do that for me.
Good. I'm so glad. And thank you for being a client, and thank you for helping pets. Because when I go out and talk to people at veterinary conferences, I'm like, hey, you guys know all the pink things inside the body? Because they all look the same to me. They're all pink. They're just kind of in different shapes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get all the different ads on Facebook and Google. So we're not compromised, but good synergy there. So that's awesome. And speaking of teamwork, you've got a pretty awesome team. We were talking, that was one of your passions, was your team.
Yeah, I really do. I somehow managed to luck into, there's 7 of us normally, and we've hired 2 extras for the summer to help with dogs because no one's coming to the clinic still. So I've got 2 young girls holding dogs for me all day, and they're wonderful. But I somehow managed to luck into one of the most amazing set of women ever. Every single one of my girls is so sweet and so dedicated. I think that is plays a massive part in the success that goes on here. My team is just so knowledgeable, and even those that are new and starting, they just fit in with the rest and learn, and off we go. It's so important to me to have a communication aspect with our clients right from the beginning. The client is getting the same story of care from beginning to end. And that is, that's completely my team.
That is so cool. Because you were saying just from the beginning, like you said, to the end, and just seeing the progression and the health of the animal and walking through the hospital really helps you get up every morning, right? And to come in and embrace that every single day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the sort of numbers of successes that we've had with different cases, when you think oh, I don't know about this, and, one of my team jumps in with a great idea or some nursing skills that just get us over that little extra bit. It's just phenomenal. And I just love handing a pet back to the owner in they came in super sick and here they are awesome. And that's so.
That's a great feeling. And kind of helping with that, you're kind of telling me some technology that you've embraced. That was a little bit of a learning curve for you. You want to tell the rest of the world about that?
Yeah, so we started doing laparoscopic surgery when about a year and a half after we first opened. And that was a massive learning curve, but one well worth doing. So with the laparoscopic surgery, we're doing spays and cryptorchid neuters, and then liver biopsies laparoscopically. The spays are the best example because their recovery is 3 days instead of 2 weeks, and the pain is 75% less. So they get 2 5-millimeter incisions, and I go in with the camera and remove ovaries with a handheld cautery forceps. And so they just bounce out of here, and the complication rate is nil. The odd one might manage to lick and need antibiotics, but I think that's probably happened maybe once a year we see that, maybe.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
wonderful. And yeah, and even like our liver biopsies, I mean, most of those dogs are older if there's something wrong with the liver, or they're young and there's something really wrong with their liver. And they're not the greatest anesthetic candidates. So you want to be like in and out quickly, and having 2 tiny little incisions to go in and get a liver biopsy often is the difference, because owners don't want us to open up their dog to go in and get a piece of liver, you know, and so yeah, so that's been awesome. We've found some really cool stuff that is totally treatable with liver biopsies and things like that. So yeah, the technology's been unreal.
That is so cool. So you have a really great team who comes together, who helps animals from start to finish for happy success stories, and you're using technology as well as human connections to make that work.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. As a side note to anyone sort of considering laparoscopic surgery, because the technology is quite expensive, but the really cool thing is what it does is it drives the right kind of client to our practice as well. So you're getting clients that are often knowledgeable, that really care about their pet, and they don't mind spending a little bit more money. I think we charge like an extra $110 for the laparoscopic surgery. It's a tool that you can only use so many times, and it needs to be paid for. That can only be sterilized so many times. But so it really helps to drive the right clientele of the practice, and that's been incredibly helpful to us as well, because to have clients that really want you to do everything that can be done for their pet is really awesome.
That is really awesome. And then I'm assuming those clients become long-term clients then too?
Absolutely. Like we've done between our Facebook and then also sort of local advertising as well, like radio and stuff like that. We generated in the beginning a lot of clients that literally brought their puppies here because they knew that we were going to be able to spay them laparoscopically. We have also had people come from other practices in town and then stay because they liked what we were doing with the laparoscope.
That's a pretty good testimony right there, you know, to the work that you're doing. And so you're using marketing of what makes you special, you know, in this case, the lab. And then people are coming through the door and then they see the wonderful customer service you provide, which keeps them, right? Because marketing can only get people to your door. What happens within the door is the hospital's responsibility. So you have that culture embodied there. And then you're using then the technology that was advertised in marketing to close the loop, and then people stay. So that is amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Take credit also. One of my really best friends, Dr. Michelle Oblak, she teaches at the Ontario Veterinary College. She's a board certified surgical oncologist. And she's the one who said, you need to do this. This is going to be great. So I can take responsibility for listening to good ideas. That's yeah. So
what are friends for, right? Except to push us, just that little extra, you know, nudge that we would maybe only hear from friends, right? Like who really know us. Yeah. So that's cool too. So moving into our last segment of marketing to self, you and I were having a great conversation. You do an interesting, what do you have for marketing for self that you're just getting back into now?
Yeah, so I'm a horseback rider, which I love, and I have been for years. Of course, with COVID, we weren't allowed to go to the barn very much because there's risk of transmission and that sort of thing. And our barn owners were wonderful about, you know, taking care of the horses when we couldn't be there and that sort of thing. But we are finally getting back to that, which is awesome. The horses being slightly crazy from not being ridden has been a bit of a challenge. And I have 2 very, very athletic warm blood geldings. So that has been, I'm also really lucky to have a husband who rides and isn't afraid of them. So he's truthfully been doing most of the original. I've been doing the grooming and the sitting on when he's done. That's been awesome because riding is my sort of time for myself, my physical activity, emotional support, that kind of thing. So that's been really awesome.
Well, that's awesome that you're getting back into the barn. You're getting back with your horses and just having that moment to self, getting that balance, you know, so that you get recharged to go back in to help others. So that's really cool. Well, thank you for coming today. This was so much fun.
Oh, thank you for having me. We get a little isolated up here, so.
I bet, right?
That's okay.
That's all right. Well, thank you. And from one northerner to another, I can get that, especially in January, right?
Oh, January.
Yeah, January. That's a lovely month. So,
June, so.
right? And I'm happy because the longest day of the year with most sunlights coming up.
That's going to be awesome.
That is so awesome. First is December, which is the shortest amount of sunlight for us here, which is, it gets, I don't know about you, it gets dark here at 4.
Yeah, here too. We arrive and leave work in the dark pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Hailey. We loved having you today. And we'll share some of these links on our Facebook feed so people can go and look, and just click. But it was really wonderful. And then if people want to reach out to you about the lap, they can just reach you through the website, right?
Yeah, if anyone's wondering about it and has questions, I absolutely, if there was a mistake to be made, we did it and survived no trouble. So I have lots of information on that if anyone's interested, absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much and have a great, wonderful day.
You too.